Okay, so we're gonna talk about CCNA, that is Cisco Certified Network Administrator. So what do you think is a job of a network admin? What he does, according to you?
Like as a CCNA certified.
Mm-hmm.
Troubleshooting network.
Mm-hmm. Troubleshooting network.
Designing network, small and
right. Design network, troubleshoot it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, there's so many things that can be done if you're certified.
Okay. So mainly we can summarize, as you have summarized it in 2 lines, that he needs to design the network, and after that he needs to troubleshoot it. He needs to maintain that network so that it should not go down. Okay.
Yeah.
So next is, what is a network? Why we need to create it? Why we need to maintain it?
Just to connect different devices.
Just hold on a minute. Hello.
Yep. Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. The other guy called. He is having some issues with the timing. He's around 8 or 9. It is 8 a.m. at his place. He's in Romania right now.
Okay. He's in Romania. Yeah. So is he joining?
No, today is not joining. Most probably he will be
Okay.
joining tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Then are you gonna explain again? Are you gonna repeat this again tomorrow?
Need to check about that. I'll share the recording. If he doesn't get something in the recording, then we'll first cover it up a little bit and then move on with the next one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, so we were talking about network. What is a network?
It's a network is, to connecting like two or more devices to share same data.
Correct. Connecting two or more devices for the purpose of data sharing. It could be any data.
Yeah.
And devices, or you can say people. If you are talking about specific computers, then you can use computers or nodes, anything. Okay.
Yeah.
So as we talk about a network in general, like if I say I have 3 or 4 networks, I have a family network, I have a friends network, a college network, a school network. I can say that in my college network, only my college friends are there. In my school network, only my school friends are there. In my family network, all the relatives and all those are there. So I can differentiate between multiple types. Just like that, when we are talking about computer networking, where we are connecting computers, again, we have multiple types.
Yeah.
So types of networks, which you must have read about in either college or school. So how many types of network can you name?
Local area network.
Right. Local area network.
And it was a LAN, and the other one was what was the other one?
Man.
And man, and what starts with a W as well.
Correct. That is WAN.
Yep.
Okay. Other than these, we can also name some extra that are, let's see, PAN. That will be a
yeah,
personal area network.
personal network.
Then one more, that is, let's write it after LAN. That is CAN, campus area network. This one is our LAN. MAN is our metropolitan area network.
Yep.
And WAN is our wide area network. If I connect a storage, lots of storage devices in my company, and then provide storage to all the systems from there, I can say that I'm using SAN, that is a storage area network.
Yeah.
Okay, so multiple types can be said of networks, depending on the, mainly these are depending on the basis of range and the number of devices. Okay, so personal area network is what if we are connecting devices in a short range, where number of devices is also limited and the speed is also limited, then we can say that that is our personal area network. The best example for that is Bluetooth. If you are connecting multiple devices via Bluetooth, you cannot go around, I think 8 to 10 meter is the range. If you go beyond that, your device would get disconnected. Okay. So let me add it here. Short range, limited number of devices. And then we can also say slow speed.
Yep.
If we go a little bit beyond that, if we are connecting devices on a particular floor or within a building, that will be called our local area network.
Yep.
It could be a office floor or office building. Okay. So let's say I have 3 floors in this building, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if I'm only connecting the devices on this particular building, this particular floor,
Yep.
and if I want to call that a local area network, we can say that because the devices between on that floor can communicate with each other. They can share data between
Yep.
each other.
Yep.
Okay. So if I'm connecting only
Yep.
2 devices, in that case, both devices have a LAN port. I just need to connect a LAN cable to that. But if I'm
Yes.
connecting 5 or 6 devices, then what I need to do?
Within the same building, like
In the same room. Let's
in
say
the same room.
I have 6 devices in the same room, and I want to connect them all using a LAN cable. If I wanted to connect them one to one, in that case, I could have done this. But only these two will be able to share the data, these two and these two. But now I want all of them to share the data with each other. So they needs to be connected. But generally, we only have a single LAN port in a system. I cannot connect 2 LAN cables in the same system. Okay.
Yep.
So for that, we are gonna need an internetworking device that is called switch.
Switch.
Then connect all the cables from the system to that switch, and they can be connected with each other. So if it was on the same floor, then I would have done it like this. If they are on multiple floors, then I can use multiple switches here.
Yep.
Connect these and these two. Okay.
Yep.
So like this, we can create a local area network. So the range of local area network can be within a building or on a floor. Okay. Local area network within a building or a floor. And next, mainly the difference of the distance between 2 devices is limited between in LAN connection. If I'm connecting this one on the first floor and the last one on the third floor, it cannot be more than 100 meters. Because if it is outside of 100 meters, they will not be able to connect with a single LAN. Okay. And why can we be sure about that? Because we have an organization that is IEEE that creates the standard for all these things which are related to electrical and electronics. Okay.
Yeah.
Institute.
So we can't connect, devices if they're like 100 meters apart, more than 100 meters apart.
Right. If you even if you want to purchase a LAN cable which is of more than 100 meters, you will not be able to connect it.
And why is that? If we connect, if we have like a longer cable,
No, longer cable you can use, but not the LAN cable. In that case, if you want to go beyond 100 meters, you either need to use a fiber cable, or you need to use multiple endpoints by which we can amplify the signal and then send the data ahead. Without that, we will not be able to connect it, because if the distance is more and you are sending something during on the way, the data may get affected by interference and all that, and your data will get lost if the distance is more. So even if you are purchasing multiple, what we say, a high quality cable, in that case too, it will get affected by interference and all that. The changes will be minute, but
Even
your data will get lost.
even if we use a fiber cable.
No. In fiber cable, we don't have interference and all that because the data travels in light format.
So it's only if we use a traditional cable, so
Right.
like what we have at home.
That's why if you see in about cloud technologies and all that, they use fiber cables to transfer the data over a long distance because they don't need to worry about the
And
interference.
and what sort of cable we are talking about, which can't be connected if the devices are more than 100 meter apart? Is it like a traditional? Which cables are you talking about?
Now, if the distance is, let's say, you want to connect two endpoints between two cities, okay,
Yeah.
in that case, if you want to use fiber cable, that too is possible. If you want to use wireless signal, that too is possible. It depends how you are connecting it. If you are putting a fiber cable, then you need to have that much you need to put that much investment in that, because you are connecting two endpoints from one city to the another city. If it already doesn't
Yeah.
have a fiber cable there, if you're using an ISP's network, in that case you just need to connect to the ISP's headquarter of that particular city. After that, the ISP will handle the data and it will take the responsibility of sending your data from one city to the another city. And in the second city too, you just need to connect your own premises to the ISP's premises. That's it. So it differs how you are trying to connect to the particular location.
Yeah.
Okay, so the distance between these any two devices in a network is called segment length. And here the maximum segment length, segment 100 meters. Also, the number of devices that we can connect, the number of systems that we can connect is also limited.
Yeah.
Number of systems. That can be connected is 1024. So we can connect 1024 systems in a LAN connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
1024 system. What does that mean?
If we are connecting of the same network via using
Yep.
a LAN local area network. Beyond that, you need to use multiple LAN connections. In that case, you will be connecting two different LAN network there. Then that will come under campus area network. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of LAN according to you?
Disadvantage is that we can't connect. More devices.
Right, devices, number of devices is limited.
Number of devices can be limited. Yeah.
Other than that, will it be fast compared to personal area network or slow?
Yes, if it's within 100 meter, it will be fast than the personal area network, I guess.
It will be fast because if we just try to connect share data between two devices, and if you are using a LAN cable, in that case, you can get the speed up to around, I think, 40 to 50 Mbps.
Yep.
Okay. Whereas in Bluetooth, it might go up to 5 MB maximum, but not more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that 1024, are you talking about the actual devices?
Yep, actual
Yep.
device.
Okay, so we can't connect more than that.
Yeah, in a single LAN, we cannot connect more than that. But if we want to connect more than that devices, then we can use two
And then we
different
will have another.
devices. Right.
Yep.
Then the major disadvantage of local area network is that as the number of devices increase, your bandwidth will decrease.
Yep.
Okay. As the number of devices increase, bandwidth decreases. Like if we have a 100 Mbps line, and if only a single person is using that particular connection, then he will get the highest speed. But if 10 people are connecting to that same network and using the internet from there, then that 100 Mbps will be divided between those 10 devices. So the device on a single node will get decreased.
Just got one question. Before, erasing everything, let me just take a screenshot.
No,
so
I'll
just take a
I'll share
screenshot of
this.
this whole.
I'll share this file, this image file, the paint
Oh,
file. I'll
okay,
share
all
it.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And also the recording as well, please.
Yeah, recording will
So
also.
much easier.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And yeah, one more thing is that line connection needs to be wired.
Yep.
Okay. So it might be a disadvantage to some people, not all of them, but most of the time it is a disadvantage. Nowadays, if we see, if I want to connect two devices and I'm not sure, I may need to go to other locations too. In that case, I need to bring that LAN cable with me, so I can connect to another devices. Okay. So yeah, mainly we can say these are the main points for our local area network. And so first was local area network. Sorry, second was local. Then third is our campus area network. So if we talk about a college, any college, generally colleges have multiple blocks. And just a minute. Okay. So let's say this is the block A of a college, then block B and block C. And all the blocks have a computer lab in that. Block A, block B, and block C. So now in this building, in block A building, we have a LAN connection. In block B building, we have a LAN connection. And in C, we also have a LAN connection. But if we are connecting these three blocks, which may or may have a distance more than 100 meters, then that will be called our campus area network. Okay, so within a campus, within a large range, we are connecting multiple LAN connections. So you can also say campus area network is also a collection of LAN.
Collection of LAN area network.
Collection.
So we will use multiple LAN area network and campus area network, right?
It's up to you. If you want, if the number of devices not more than 1024, then you can put them under the same network. So it can be considered a part of same local area network. But If the distance is more and the number of devices is also more, in that case you might need to connect different connections here. In this case, let's say in the block A, you are using this particular IP 168.0.0. In the second one, you might be using the next IP 1.0, and in this one you are using 2.0. So three different networks, and then you will be either using a switch or a router to connect these different networks.
Yeah.
Okay. So that will be our campus area network. Then if we go,
So
yes.
does that mean we will have a different router, like for all the 3 blocks?
No, if you want to connect with the switch, that too is possible. And on that switch, you can create multiple VLANs and all that. That stuff we will see later. Like if you want to connect different networks via a switch, generally what a switch does, it connects devices of same network. But if you want to connect devices of different network, that too is also possible. So
And
it's up
can you
to
give
you.
me a general? Yep. Sorry to interrupt you. Can you give me a general example of switch, like when we connect to a network?
Yeah, mainly when we are using switch, when we want to connect more than 2 devices. Like if we are connecting a single only two devices, then we can connect them because both the devices have a single LAN port here. And to that LAN port, we can connect the LAN cable. But if we have a third device and I want this third device to connect with these two, so right now it is not possible because all the LAN port of those devices are occupied. So now if I want to connect it, I need to disconnect them first, put a switch, and then connect these 3 cables to the switch. And switch also comes under different configurations. Like if you are only using a single short network, switch networking, then you just need to buy a switch with less ports. If you are connecting more devices, then you can also buy a switch which have more ports available.
More ports available.
Okay, like only 5 port available in this one, and this one I think it will be 48. And you can also stack them up, like it is not showing, yeah, like this. So in this image, if we see, you can just connect the first the switch on the top and the bottom with the cable. So if we have devices, 24 devices, 23 devices here and 23 devices here, then they will also be able to communicate because they are connected via this particular port. Okay, then campus area. After campus area, we have MAN, that is metropolitan. Okay, this. So we started with a single room where we were connecting only a limited number of devices. After that, we moved to a floor or a building, then to a campus. Now we want to go outside the campus. Now the distance between the two devices might be in 60 to 50 kilometers, but they're within the city. So if we are connecting devices within a city, then that will be called metropolitan area network. So let's say we have these two endpoints and the distance between these two is 50 kilometers, just example. So it could be the branch number 1 of our office and the second one could be the branch second. So now I want the devices from branch 1 to communicate with the devices from branch 2.
Nodes too.
then I can connect them via metropolitan area network. Okay.
Yeah.
So man within a city where the distance can be 100 kilometers. Okay. So we
And
can
what will
also,
be the difference? Yeah.
yes.
So what will be the difference in metropolitan network as compared to the local area network?
First of
In
all, the
terms of
range.
connecting.
In terms of connecting, you are connecting. First is that the range is, we have more in metropolitan. Second is that the number of devices can be more, and they don't need to be of the same network if we want to connect them via metropolitan area network. If we were connecting them
Yeah.
via a single LAN, then the device needs to be in the same network. Only then they will be able to connect. Okay.
Yeah.
Like metropolitan, you can also take it as an example. When government conducts some online examination, so what they do, they what we say, book multiple colleges and schools and all those things. Okay, so if they connect all those schools and colleges for that day only, okay, that can also be said as a metropolitan area network. So you can also say that metropolitan area network is a collection of campus area network.
Yeah.
Okay, collection of as a group or collection of direct campus area network, you can say. Another advantage is that you can either create it wired or it can be wireless.
Yep.
Okay, so can be wired or wireless. Like if both the offices are both the locations are of my office only, and I want them to connect via cables, I can do that. But if a government is conducting an exam and the exam is being conducted in different colleges, then they will not connect it via wired, because if they do for every examination, then the costing would be a lot higher. Okay.
So what sort of what we're gonna use for wireless if the distance is like 50 kilometer? I mean, as you said, and we want to connect both branches.
In
I
that case,
understand with the wire. Yep.
In that case, they will be using the ISP's network, the internet service providers. If the internet service provider they are using is of the same network, like same ISP on both the locations, like branch 1 is also connected with Airtel and the branch 2 is also connected with Airtel, then we can directly use the Airtel's connection. Their towers are available throughout the city, then we can send the data using those. If we are talking about a long distance that is outside the city too, in that case we will be using the satellite communication.
Okay.
So can be wired or wireless. The devices is also, number of devices is more. Compared to LAN. And other than that, yeah, mainly these are the advantages and disadvantages of this metropolitan area network.
Yep.
And yeah, speed will be higher or lower than local area. What do you think?
If we're using a wired network or wireless?
In both cases, if we are comparing it with local area network. Okay. Just hold on a minute. Call is coming. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah.
Yep.
So we were talking about speed.
Speed.
So what do you think the speed would be? Will it be higher than local area or lower than local area?
I guess it will be lower than the local area network.
Right. Okay. So the speed will be, you can say, slower than LAN, but
Yeah.
faster than wide area network.
Yep.
Okay. And if we are connecting it over a long distance, and instead of using wide area network, this metropolitan area network connection would be less expensive.
Yep.
Okay, no doubt it will be more expensive than the local area, but if we compare it with wide area network, then it will be less expensive. Okay, so less expensive than wide area network.
Yep.
So these can be the advantages, and disadvantages. One of the main is that it is a little bit easy, and you can say prone to attack, because
Yep.
if a hacker wants to attack it, prone to hacker attacks. Okay, and
Yep.
cabling will be needed more if we use cables, and for that we need to connect them end to end. So we need
Yep.
to put a cable between those two endpoints, and the cable can be either fiber optic or copper cable. It's up to you.
Yep.
Okay, so if you are using fiber optic cable, then the interface that is being
Speed will
used,
be.
right, speed will be
Yep.
higher, and the interface that will be used will be called FDDI. And if you are using a copper cable, then it will be called CDDI. Fiber distributed digital interface And the next one is copper distributed digital interface.
Digital interface. Yep.
So these are the advantages and disadvantages of our metropolitan area network. Next and the last one is our wide area network. So when we are connecting devices across borders, the borders can be between a city, state, or even countries.
Yeah.
Okay, so across borders of cities, states, and countries, then that will be called a wide area network.
Wide area network.
So first point, let's write yes. Connection across borders. Of cities, states, or countries.
Countries.
Okay. What would be the best example for wide area network? Internet. Okay.
Yep.
Right
Internet.
now, you are at which location? I'm saying
I'm in Northern Territory.
Northern Territory, and right now I'm at Rajasthan. So from one endpoint to another endpoint, multiple state and countries borders might be there. Okay, so
Yeah.
we are connecting across that, and we are using internet for that connection. So right now we are connected under WAN area network. We are sharing some data, we are sharing some information. The information might be in text format, might be in voice, video, anything. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the advantages or disadvantages of WAN over local area network? If we compare WAN and local area,
Yep.
let's see comparison between LAN and WAN. So WAN area covers greater distance,
Greater than
okay, greater than any of these.
the LAN.
Okay,
Yep.
LAN, WAN, all this.
And
What about speed? Will be faster or slower?
it, obviously, if it's covering large area, it can be less than the local area network.
Will be slower than local area network.
Yeah.
Okay. When we are connecting using wide area network, when the devices are connected via wide area network, then they can be, the connection can be on demand or permanent. But in case of local area network, the connection is generally made permanent. Like if you are setting up a company and right, so in that company you need to purchase the infrastructure and all that. So you will not be changing the infrastructure every day or every week. If you are purchasing something, so the infrastructure and everything, the furnitures and all those things, then you are mainly minimum you are aiming for at least 1 year or 2 years.
Yep.
Okay. So you need to create a plan like how you will be connecting these devices. You need to look for the number of devices, you need to purchase the cables, you need to connect them one by one.
Yeah.
So generally local area networks are permanent, whereas wide area network can be permanent or on demand. Like right now I'm connected via my mobile phone. If I just turn off the data connection in my mobile phone, our connection will be broken.
Yeah.
Okay, I will be disconnected from internet. I will not be able to connect to anything other than my mobile phone. Okay.
Yeah.
So wide area network can be connected on demand or permanently. Whereas LANs have permanent connection. Okay. Yeah. Next, that is the main is that WAN can either use public connection or private connection. Okay.
Yeah.
WAN can use both of this. The private, it can also use the private as well as public. Whereas local area mostly use private connection.
Private connection.
So WANs can use private or public network. Whereas LAN mostly use private network. Okay.
Yep.
Then another is that WAN can be either full duplex or half duplex, and LAN generally uses half duplex connection communication.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I'll explain that to you. So let me write that first. WAN can use full duplex or half duplex. LAN generally use half duplex communication. Okay, so copy. So let's say if I want to communicate with a device, this one is my laptop 1, and we have another laptop here, laptop 2. So let's say I want to communicate with the first laptop, that is laptop 1, and I'm inputting something right now. I'm writing something here, or if I want to open a particular application, I'm just gonna click on that application and it will open. So right now I'm communicating with this laptop, and this type of communication, you can say it will be simplex, because you are only just inputting the values. You are not expecting the laptop to just stand up and do something to you too. Okay. So that will be a simplex communication.
Simplex communication.
If there are more than one entity, if you are connecting with these two laptops, In that case, I want to share the data data 1, and here we have data 2. So I want to send the data 1 to laptop 2 and data 2 to laptop 1.
Laptop 1.
So if I'm only able to send the data to laptop 2 first, and then once I've sent the data, then laptop 2 is sending the data to me. That will be called half duplex, that the communication be from both sides, but one at a time.
One at a time.
Let me write it. Okay. Simplex in that.
So example can be when we're using a Bluetooth for 2 phones and we can only one.
Hello, your voice broke. Can you repeat what were you saying?
So example for the half duplex is we're using Bluetooth between 2 phones.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be example for half duplex.
I'm not sure about that. It might be possible to share the data from both ends. I haven't tried sharing the data from both ends. We can take the example for this half duplex as that the police radios or walkie-talkie we have. Like if you are sending some data, you will say all the things, and then you say over. Then the second person will talk on that on his walkie-talkie. Okay, you will not be doing like both of them are speaking at the same time. Only one person will send the data, and then the second person will send the data. So half duplex. In that case, both side communication is possible, but one at a time. Whereas in full duplex, both side communication again possible, and both at the same time. So what can be the best example for this full duplex?
Phone call.
Right. Okay. So we can phone calls, internet calls, video calls, anything. Where we can connect from both sides at the same time. Okay. Police radios, and here phone calls. Yeah, phone calls, internet calls. Now we can say video calls. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Let's say this one is orange, this one is red, and this one is black. So in simplex, we are just sending the data. That is our one-way communication. In the half duplex, it can be sent here. It can also be sent back, but one at a time. Whereas in full duplex, you can send it here or here at the same time. Okay, then last one we also gonna talk, that is our storage area network.
Storage area network.
So let's say a LAN area is being used. this one is the company's premise, and that what
Yeah.
the company did, in a room they placed lots and lots of storage devices. And here we have multiple devices that are connected via LAN cable, switches, and all that things.
Yep.
Just connected like this. So if we want, we can share this storage from here only to all the devices.
Yep.
Okay. So we will be saying that all these devices are using a storage area network to store the data. The centralized
Yep.
storage, you can say. So if you want to configure some extra details, you will be connecting a server and then manage all the partitions and all those things. That will come under the system administrator part.
Yeah.
If they are using a Linux operating system, then Linux operating system. In that case, Linux system admin will do the work. If we are using a Windows operating system, then Windows admin will do the work.
Yep.
Okay.
And can you give me an example for that storage network?
Example, not practical right now, because like yeah, we can also check the practical example too. Have you heard about cloud technology?
Yep. Yep.
Mainly we are getting virtual resources from somewhere. Okay, like we have this AWS cloud.
Yep.
7 5NX. Hopefully Y54P Y. Okay, so right now I have a server on AWS and I'm using their storage area network to connect storage to my device. Let me show you here. Yep, it's running. So I have a Linux operating system here. Okay, and if I want to check the volumes of the storage that I have connected here, we can go to volumes and it should be, I think, 8 or 10 GB. Yep, 10 GB. So 10 GB storage, a partition they have created and attached it here. If I want to create another partition, so via graphical, I just need to click here, create volume, and I just need to select the size of the partition. Let's say I want to create
That's
another
how much
partition.
you stored. So that's how much you stored.
No, I will get an extra partition, extra storage of 15 GB here. That 10 GB storage is already available. In that, it might be possible how much we have used. It may show here. No, it is not showing the storage available, but I think around 3 or 4 GB I have used of this 10 GB. But if I want to create another 10 GB drive here, I just need to create a new volume. Create that volume. Let's say 15 GB I'm going to create. Just a minute. It is in episode 1B. So 15 GB. Select the data center of that particular location, because the system, your system and the storage area needs to be in the same premises. Only then you will be able to connect it. Okay, you can understand it like this: your company have a storage area network, and your neighboring company also have a storage area network. So your company's device can only use the storage area of your network, your company's network. If you want to storage area of your neighboring company, that is not possible. Okay. Here I have another 15 GB storage. I just need to select this, go to actions, and I can attach it to my system. So right now we are doing this, all this thing with via graphical method, and scripts are already written there. Everything is automated. We don't need to add the storage anything, because everything is maintained by the cloud provider, that is AWS. Okay. But in our case, when we are just opening a company, or we have a company in which storage area is connected, network is available, then we need to connect that storage area network to our devices. Only then they will be able to use that storage area network. Like if connection broke here, the cable which I was using to connect the last row was broken. So all the devices, they will not be able to access this storage. If they stored any file in that particular storage area, they will not be able to access it. They need to be connect to the storage area to use that storage. Okay. Then yeah, types of network is done. Next, let me tell you about the topics that we will be covering here. Okay, let me create. Okay, so CCNA weekend. Okay. So first was our introduction, like what networking is, and then we have types of network. After types of network, we need to talk about network architectures. Then we want if we want to connect multiple devices, then we need to know about the topologies, like how we will be connecting those devices. So network topologies will be there, in which we have multiple types of topologies. We will be talking about them one by one. So mainly during the starting 2 weekends, we will be doing the theoretical part. Everything will be theoretical. After that, we will be moving on to the practical part. Okay. So network topologies, then we have types of cables. Okay. Because if we want to connect two devices, we need to know about how which type of cable we will be using, how we will be connecting those devices. Okay. If there are more than two devices, then we also need to know about internetworking devices. That is our routers, switches, hubs, and all those things. Okay. And one of the most important, that is addressing, IP addressing. Okay. Because as we talk with anyone, we call them via their name. If 10 people are there, and if you want to point something, then you will be calling them via their name. So if in a network, if you want to point to any particular system, then you will be using IP address. And one more thing, that is OSI model. OSI and TCP IP model. Okay. So
Yeah,
this here,
the guy who he actually sent me a whole one file that which we covering in 2 months.
can you send it on WhatsApp too? I don't have that one right now.
I'll send you it now.
Yeah, it's in my.
I'll just share in the group.
Yeah, either share it in group or you can share it on personal chat
Just
anywhere. So, yep, got it. Yeah. So this thing that I have written here, it is part of module 1 and module 3.
yeah.
Okay. So mainly most of these topics are from module 1. In other than this IP addressing, all of them are from module 1.
Yeah.
Then IP addressing basic that they have written in module 3, that will be covered here because we need to know about IP addressing before we go on to the devices and connect them, how to connect devices, how to work on a switch and all everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let me also write. Okay, I'm gonna save this for now and I'll complete this thing here, the topics that we will be covering here. So when we cover a topic, we can write it here as covered, and can I call you Karam?
Yep, you can call me Sam.
So I'm also gonna write like which topic you have done the practice of, and if you have any doubts in that, we will discuss those doubts first, and then we will put a dot here, so that means that topic has been covered. So it will be just you can say a roadmap will be ready here. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me also add so one. So for now, introduction and types of network is done. Next is our network architecture. So before going to the network architecture, I have two names. So explain what do you understand by these: server and a client. How will you explain if someone asks what is a server and what is a client?
So I know that server obviously it's where we all place our switches.
Okay. And
And client is the one who is accessing the server.
Yeah. So just in simple terms, you can say server is a machine or a powerful computer that is providing some any type of service to multiple people. Okay. And client, those computers, those devices that are using the service that is provided by the server. If we go to any restaurant, we are the client of that restaurant, and the people at the restaurant are the server. They will be providing their services to us, and we are paying them for their services. We are using their services. Okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
So yeah, a powerful computer that is providing any type of service to multiple users, whereas a client is a system that is using the services provided by the server. Okay. So next is our network architecture. Like how will we be connecting multiple devices in a network? And network architecture. Okay, yeah, before that, can I use my laptop as a server or not?
Yes. I mean, for internet purposes, yes, it can be used as a server if you are connecting multiple devices to one laptop through internet or through Wi-Fi.
Okay, so it can be used as a server, but only for a short period of time, or you can say only for smaller networks. Okay.
Yeah.
Like if I want to host a website on my laptop, I can do that, but only for a short time.
Yeah.
Because if I'm hosting a website, in that case, clients will be coming on that website. They will be going on browser and then opening that website. I think one should be available. Okay, it must have been closed. So they will be going on the IP address or the domain name of that particular website, and they can access the data. Like if we go to serverworld.info, so they have created a home page, and that home page will be displayed. So if I'm connecting, that means I'm connecting to that computer on that system where that website is hosted. Okay. So just for example, let's say you are standing between in a crowd, and there are 10 people who are besides you, and suddenly all 10 of them starts talking to you. No issues that you know all of them, but they all start talking to you at the same time. Will you be able to understand everything? No. Why not? Because the load on you will be a lot more than you can handle. Right. Because we can only listen to a single person. Right. So if we can only process a single thing, no doubt we have created a laptop that is faster than us, that can do multiple tasks, but it also have a limit. Okay, like my system's limit, I can check via its performance, how much memory is being used, how much CPU is being used. Best example is that you install any game in your system, and if that particular game needs memory higher than 16 GB, you will not be able to run it in your system, in this system, because we only have 16 GB of memory here. Okay, so if a server we have that is of low configuration, it will not be able to handle the load for a long period of time. It will get crashed. And even if it is not being get crashed, if I start my laptop and leave it running for 10 days, the laptop will get shut down on its own. We don't have to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why a server is a powerful computer that is providing any type of service, whereas the client can be any computer. If you want to access a website from your Windows XP with 500 MB of RAM, you can do that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So how many types of server can be there? If you are hosting a website or hosting a web application from a particular server, from a computer, that server will be called a web server. or
Web server.
an application server.
Yep.
Depending on the purpose or depending on the use of that server, we can name it. If I am managing multiple printers from in my network from a particular machine, then that server can be said as print server. Or if we are storing files and everything, then that can be said as file server.
Cloud server.
Or if you are managing mails, we have mail server.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So server can be anything. It's depends on the type of use where you are using it.
Yep.
Okay. So now next is our network architecture. Like if we are connecting multiple devices, so how we are connecting them? So network architecture, we have two types. First one is
Peer-to-peer.
peer-to-peer network architecture. Second one is our server client, or you can say client server, anything.
Yep.
Architecture. Okay. So if I have 4 systems here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this one is PC1, PC2, PC3, and PC4. And all these PCs have a user that corresponds to their name, user 1, user 2, 4, and 3. Okay. So if a user is there, that means a password will also be there, right?
Yep.
Let's say the password for user 1 is U1. Here we have U2, U3, and U4. On PC1, I have stored, let's say, games. All the games are there. In PC2, I have movies. In PC3, we have songs, and in PC4, we have files.
Fine.
Right now, I'm user 1 and you are user 3. So if I want any games, do I need to go somewhere? I'm user 1.
Yeah, but no, you don't. I mean,
I don't need to go because that is available in my system.
that is good. Yep.
If I want to access some movies, if I want to access some songs, then I need to leave my system to go to another system, fetch the details, fetch the movies and songs from there, and then use it.
Yep.
Okay. So that means I must be able to connect to that system or this system, right?
Yep.
So again, I'm connecting more than 2 devices. What are we going to use?
LAN network.
Yeah, LAN network will be there. And then LAN network, we are going to use a switch.
Yeah.
So let's say I placed a switch here, and using this switch, I connected these 4 devices. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yep.
So if I'm going from PC1 to PC2,
Yep.
That means I want to access this PC2, right? So I must have the password of that PC to access it. Correct?
Yep. Yep.
So password of PC2, PC3, and PC4 with username and password, everything must be available on this PC.
Yep.
Let's say U1 user1. It is available. Then okay, user1 is already there. We need to store the password of user2, user3, and user4. So it will be available here.
Yep.
If we talk about on the second machine, second one is our PC2.
Yep.
In that case, instead of user1, user2, it will be user1. If we go with the user PC3, then PC3 must have this. On PC4, it must have, right?
Yep.
After that, when I'm fetching the details from, let's say I'm working on PC1 again, I want movies. So I will be going using this switch to PC2, fetch the details and use
Yep.
it. So in this case,
Yep.
which of these devices will be server and which of these will be client? Then I'm using, and when I'm getting the movies from PC2, in that case.
From PC2, so that's a server, and then PC1 is client.
Right. So if I'm taking the data like this, in that case, this one is the server and this one is client. Let's say this time I'm fetching the data from PC3. I want some songs. So again, I'm using the switch to go to PC3. This time,
Yep.
which one will be server?
PC3.
PC3 will be server, and again, PC1 will be your client.
PC1 will be client.
But now, let's say you want some games and you want some files. Then you will be going via the switch to get the files, and you will be going via switch to get the games.
Yep.
Now which systems will be server and which systems will be client?
PC4 and PC1 will be server, and if you're using for PC3, that will be client.
Right. Here now we have these will be server and this will be client. So in this case, what is happening? Every system is connected one by one, and any system can be server, any system can be client.
Can be a client.
Okay. Also, the username and password are also being leaked to everyone. So there is almost negligible security here. Okay.
Yeah.
So this one was a peer-to-peer connection. If we talk about client server architecture, it's almost similar. Only a minute change will be there. Let me clear these first. So files, songs, movies, and games. Everything I've removed from the individual machines.
Yep.
So instead of storing the data on each server, what I did this time, I placed a server, placed a machine here. On that machine, I have stored games, I have stored movies, songs, as well as files. So everything is here. Also, the username and the password. This orange system will have everything: user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4. Okay.
Yep.
And I will be connecting them via a switch. I placed a switch here. And connected these devices. So now again, I'm working on system 1 and you're working on system 3. So you want some games. Where will you be going? From PC3
PC3 to server.
To the server.
Switch to server.
So you will be fetching the data from there. If you want games, you will be going there. If you want movies, then too. If songs or files or anything, we are only going on one machine now, on a single machine. So in this case, what we have, only one server is there. All the other devices are clients. Okay. So that will be called as server client architecture. A single server and multiple clients. Whereas in peer-to-peer, any server can be, any machine can be server and any machine can be client.
Yep. Can you so give me an example for both?
Yeah. Let's say.
So that will be much.
Let's say you have 5 mobile phones. Okay. And in one of them, you have a movie. You want to share it to all those, to do all extra 4 devices. So you can connect them via Wi-Fi. We have multiple softwares, Xender, share it on anything. If we connect them via that, and I only just need to click on that movie once and click on send, it will be sent to all of those. In that case, we have one server. And
so which can be that server? So the phone that we are sending from, that will be the server, then other will be the client.
Other will be the clients. Okay. So we have a centralized storage, and then we are sending the data from there. Whereas if you wanted, let's say 4 devices, you are sharing the data from all those devices one by one. Like from first device, you are getting the movies, from the second device, you are getting the games, and third files and songs. In that case, everybody is sending the data, everybody is downloading the data. Okay. So that will be called our peer-to-peer architecture. Or if we talk about like any of the websites, any of the social media, Facebook, Instagram.
So can we say that the service client, when we log on to Netflix, can we say that the server client, because we are accessing movies from there and the password and everything is already stored on the Netflix app?
Right.
Can we call that client?
That will be server client architecture. You are the client, Netflix is the server. Okay. Yeah, that was in our network architecture. Then next is our network topologies. So before going on the network topology part, tell me about these 3 words: unicasting, multicasting, and broadcasting.
Well, I only understand like broadcasting, like when you broadcast something, when
What happens when we broadcast something?
we use our device as a server.
Right.
And
Anything, whatever you have. If it is right, that's good. If it is wrong, we'll correct it. Just say anything.
So
What
I
you
can say broadcasting is when we use a Chromecast, which is connected to TV, and if we want to share something from our phone, then
right.
we are broadcasting our data to that TV. So our phone will be a server, and that TV will be a client where we want to broadcast from our phone. Is that broadcasting?
Yeah, kind of, not always. Let's say you have 4 TVs. Okay. So can you cast the data from your mobile phone to those 4 TVs at the same time?
No.
No, we cannot. That means if you are only sending the data to a single device, that will be called unicasting.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, let's take this example. These 4 are the TVs, and this one is the mobile phone. So I want to cast the screen of this to this TV. Let me name it 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you are able to send the data from your mobile phone to only a single device, or if you are intentionally only sending the data to a single device, that will be called unicasting. Okay. If you are sending the data to multiple devices, let's say out of these 4, you are sending the data to these 2, that will be multicasting. And if the data is being sent to every device, it will be broadcasting.
So that example can be when if we see anything on the Facebook like as a live video, so that will be broadcasting because everyone can access it. Is that what are you talking about, broadcast?
Right. In that case, that will be broadcasting. And if you upload any photo, and while you are uploading, you just selected that only your friend should be able to see it, then that will be multicasting, that you have selected a limited group of numbers. And if you are sending someone a photo on Messenger on only on personal chat, that will be unicasting. Okay. So in some cases, broadcasting might be better. In some cases, unicasting, and in some cases, multicasting. Okay. Like, let's take another. Let's say we are having a meeting here and we have 9 people. 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you are in a company and your boss is standing here and he's delivering some speech or anything. So if he wants to share the data while he's standing here and saying all the information, it is being delivered to everyone. Okay, that will be broadcasting, multicasting, or unicasting? Broadcasting.
That will be broadcasting.
Okay, because it is being delivered to everyone. If he wants to send some data that should only be delivered here, not there, that will be called multicasting, because a number of systems were selected, and if he only asks this person 8 to come to his office and says some things, deliver some information to him only, that will be unicasting. Okay, so in a network, it depends which type of network you will create depending on which type of casting you want to use. Okay, because some information might be confidential and you don't want to provide it to everyone. And if your network only does broadcasting, that will be a disadvantage to you. because you only
Yep.
wanted to send the data to 8% and it is being delivered to everyone.
Yep.
Okay. So depending on which type of casting we want to use, which type of communication we want, with how we want to deliver the data to someone. Next thing
Yep.
comes, that is our network topologies. So let me put it in a box. Network topologies. So you can explain it as systematically arranging of systems of networking components.
Yep.
So you must have heard about network topologies too somewhere at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
How many do you remember?
I don't remember. I don't remember anyone, but I have heard about studied topology when doing my studies. So I don't remember anyone.
So generally, if we ask someone who is either in college or in a school right now, so they only need to, or they only heard about mainly these, either bus topology or star topology. Okay.
Yep.
Or we have tree, hybrid. So generally at that level, we only need to about, we only need to know about these things. But when
Yep.
we are working as a network admin, in that case, if someone asks you how many types of network topologies are there, so mainly they can be divided into two parts. First one is
Yep.
a logical topologies, and
Yep.
second one is physical. So logical topologies, in which we are defining how the data will travel to the destination, how the data is being delivered to the destination. Okay.
Yep.
How data is being delivered to the destination. Or if you want to use some more technical words, then you can say how the data transmission is being done among the nodes.
Yep.
How the data transmission is being done among nodes. Okay.
Yep.
So it is mainly related to our routers, switches, and all those things. So we will be using routing protocols to send the data from one point to another, and depending on that particular protocol, it will be decided which path it
Yep.
will take to go to the destination.
Yeah.
So it is related to let's say equipment, such as routers, switches, etc. And we will be using routing protocols here. For data transmission. Whereas in physical topology, mainly we will be focusing how we are connecting the devices physically, their structure, physical structure of the network. Okay.
Yep.
Physical structure of the network. how the devices nodes are connected physically.
Yep.
And physical topology will mostly be changed in a company after 8 to 10 years, not before than that. And
Yep.
why is that? Because of the infrastructure cost and furniture cost and everything. Okay.
Yep.
So generally, we change the physical topology of an organization after 8 to 10 years, not before that. Okay.
And can you also give me example as well?
Let's say our company purchased a floor in a building. Okay. And right now nothing is there.
Yep.
It is an empty floor. So they created like wooden walls and everything. This is our room number first, room number second, then that one is third room. Here we have fourth one, and here we have fifth one, and here's the entrance. So let's say I have this floor, I purchased this floor and placed wooden walls and everything here, so I can have multiple rooms for multiple purpose.
Yep.
At first, when I purchased this floor, I did this. After that, I need to place furnitures here.
Yep.
Okay. So let's say this one is the reception. So in that reception, you only need a single PC. You placed a desk and a chair, and that's pretty much it. And a single PC is there. In the last room, that is the biggest, you want to connect at least 10 PCs.
Yep.
So you can either connect them like this on a single table, or you can change the architecture like 2 devices in this corner, 2 in this, 2 here, anything, right? Yep. Here too, you want to connect some devices in this room too. So for placing these devices, connecting these devices, I need to decide before placing them that how will I connect them? Because if I purchase a table which is of length only this, and another table which is like this, and for these 5 devices, I'm using a single desk.
Yep.
Okay. So if I purchased each and every furniture, and after I've done that, after 1 or 2 months, my network admin comes to me and he says that we need to sell some furnitures and purchase new one. And why is that? Because he needs to change the topology. Because when he created this topology, when he connected these devices like this, whenever someone is sharing the data, it is being delivered to everyone.
Yep. So it's basically a network infrastructure.
Right, network infrastructure. Okay.
Yep.
So how the network infrastructure will be designed, it will depend on your topology. Because if you want to only do unicasting, you want to only send data to one by one, in that case you need to use switches and everything. If you want to do broadcasting, then your costing can be reduced by not using the switches. You can use connectors and connect all these devices with a single cable, but costing will be less, no issues. But it will do broadcasting. Data will be delivered to everyone.
Yep.
Okay. If PC1 sends anything to wants to send anything to person 3 only, when he sent that in the network,
Yep.
it was delivered to everyone. And boom. Depending on the data, it could be hazardous.
Yep.
So we need to select the topologies, and depending on topologies, the devices will be connected physically. And once the
Yep.
devices has been connected, then we can implement some protocols, routing protocols and everything. Then we can
Yep.
also change the path. If multiple paths are available, which paths we want to choose, we can select that. Okay.
Yep.
So in physical topology, other than these four, we have some extra. Write it down again. Okay. So the first one is our single node. Just hold on a minute. Call is coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, first one is our single node topology.
Yep.
Second one is our bus topology. Then we have star. We have ring, dual ring, mesh, tree topology, and hybrid topology. Okay.
Yep.
So we will be talking about every topology, like what are the characteristics, what are the advantages and disadvantages.
Yep.
Okay. After that, we will move on to our next topic, that is our cables and
Yep.
OSI model.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And also, because it's a long lecture, so we are almost doing from like 1 hour and 45 minutes. So can you, the guy who missed the class, can you like do like another lecture, because I don't want to repeat the like whole lecture again.
Yeah, no issues there. I'll send it to
Yep.
him first, and if
Yep.
there are issues, then I'll take his. It will be covered, because once you have seen the videos, after that you will only have some doubts. We will cover that doubts, and then we will move on to the next one.
Yep. Just send him a video, because I don't want to repeat the whole again.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. Thank you.
And today, 10 a.m.
You didn't introduce yourself, but are you working as well?
Yeah, right now I'm full-time working as a trainer, and besides the CCNA, I'm also taking sessions for Linux and Ansible, cloud computing,
Yep.
troubleshooting of Linux administrator and everything.
So what are you doing as a full-time?
And only this IT trainer. Since last
Yep.
3 years, I'm teaching about these technologies.
Yep.
CC. First. Okay, so I'll upload the recording and that file too on Google Drive, and I'll share you the link. Okay.
Yep. That would be great.
And for tomorrow, I might not be able to take session at the same time, so I'll let you know by the evening. Some guests are coming at my place. Okay.
Yep.
So I'll let you know before that if whether they're coming or not. So by evening, I'll update in the group.
So are you gonna take like before 10? Like I'm talking about Indian Standard Time. Are you before 10 or after 10?
Before 10, it would be around from 8. Right now, what's the time at your place?
Yep. So I'm only 4 hours ahead of you. So it's almost like 10 past 4 now.
Okay.
So yeah,
AM.
it's only no PM. It's evening. I live in Australia.
Okay, PM.
Yep. Yep. So in India, it's only 10 past 12, I guess.
Right.
So it's only 4 hour difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I can still do that. If you are doing early session, I can do that, because if you're starting at 8 and I will have like it will be 12 here. It will be afternoon here.
Okay, I'll let you know.
I don't have any issues. Yep.
Okay, then see you tomorrow then, and check the recording
So are we?
Yes.
So because we already missed like 15 minutes, so we can just talk about these topologies. I mean, if you have time.
It will take a lot extra time, because we will be talking about one by one, and we have 8 topologies, and they needs to be covered with the next one. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really sure, because the guy who actually I talked to, he told me that it will be a 2.5 hour lecture. So I'm not sure. I mean, like if it's 2.5 hour or it's only 2 hours.
Okay, I'll talk to him, because I have a different session after 5 minutes. So right now it would not be possible. I'll talk to him, and then I'll update to you about tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. And can you please send those files, the recording and the other one?
Yeah, I'll update it as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Take care.
Yeah.